All right, thanks, Scott Shannon. Thanks to all of you. 800-941-SEAN. You want to be a part of the program. Let's start with our top story of the day, and that is Andrew Cuomo announcing his resignation. This happening earlier today. Let's play it.
And I love New York. And I love you. And everything I have ever done has been motivated by that love. And I would never want to be unhelpful in any way. And I think that given the circumstances, the best way I can help now is if I step aside and let government get back to governing. And therefore, that's what I'll do. Because I work for you. And doing the right thing is doing the right thing for you. Because as we say, it's not about me, it's about we. Kathy Hochul, my lieutenant governor, is smart and competent. This transition must be seamless. We have a lot going on. I'm very worried about the Delta variant, and so should you be. But she can come up to speed quickly, and my resignation will be effective in 14 days. At public events, troopers will often hold doors open or guard the doorways. When I walk past them, I often will give them a grip of the arm, a pat on the face, a touch on the stomach, a slap on the back. It's my way of saying, I see you, I appreciate you, and I thank you. I'm not comfortable just walking past and ignoring them. Of course, usually they are male troopers. In this case, I don't remember doing it at all. I didn't do it consciously with the female trooper. I did not mean any sexual connotation. I did not mean any intimacy by it. I just wasn't thinking. It was totally thoughtless in the literal sense of the word. But it was also insensitive. It was embarrassing to her, and it was disrespectful. It was a mistake, plain and simple. I have no other words to explain it. I want to personally apologize to her and her family. I have the greatest respect for her and for the New York State Police. I take
and that was Andrew Cuomo. Let me play one more here, and that is Cuomo saying, I take full responsibility for my actions. Remember, he said it's all false. And the only reason is that, well, apparently he had no friends in the Democratic Party, even in the liberal state of New York. There's something behind that. There is an untold story, not really sure. There was a New York, I think it was the New Yorker piece that came out. And in that piece, it just came out hours before Cuomo resigned, and about pressure that was put on the Justice Department of Obama, I guess, at the time, as it relates to certain issues, and that everybody apparently was uncomfortable with it, and other issues that have come up as well. But let's play one more Cuomo cut.
I take full responsibility for my actions. I have been too familiar with people. My sense of humor can be insensitive and off-putting. I do hug and kiss people casually, women and men. I have done it all my life. It's who I've been since I can remember. In my mind, I've never crossed the line with anyone. But I didn't realize the extent to which the line has been redrawn.
All right, from earlier today, none of this to me, so many people, getting in touch with the show, and Linda and Sweet Baby and telling me, and they're reporting back to me that they're surprised. I'm not surprised in the sense that one way or another, this was a fait accompli, and that the real issue that is facing the governor is going to be over remember, in the AG report, it talked about criminal laws being broken on a state level and a federal level. Even assuming he keeps his word and resigns in 14 days, Andrew Cuomo may not be out of the legal woods in any way whatsoever. Go back to the Attorney General of New York's report on the sexual harassment charges, and that it was a result of a civil investigation, but it's since led now to law enforcement officials opening simultaneous criminal investigations all over the state, with the possibility that Cuomo could be charged criminally in all of this. The big question is, what, if anything, would he be charged with? We've gone over that in great specificity and detail with Greg Jarrett on this program, and it has now led to law enforcement officials doing this. On Sunday, the Albany County Sheriff, a guy by the name of Craig Apple, hinted at a possible result in the case involving this woman, Brittany Camiso. Now, she was known up until this interview with CBS this weekend as Executive Assistant Number 1, who brought the most serious allegations against the governor, but she was not the first person to specifically say that groping, grabbing, unwanted touching, etc., had taken place. Now, there's some disagreement. Would it be a misdemeanor? Maybe a few misdemeanors. Could it mean jail time? Well, if it's a misdemeanor, forcible touching allegations could result in a year behind bars. Do I think that would happen? Probably not, knowing New York as well as I do. But anyway, it could possibly be that. And then the criminal defense attorney and former Brooklyn prosecutor agreeing with the assessment. But two things happened in the last 48, 72 hours that tipped the balance here, and that was the up till this weekend unknown name of the Executive Assistant Number 1, the interview that was given on on CBS rather, Brittany Camiso. And when I watched this, I just kept saying, "Wow, she's extraordinarily articulate, credible." And it was beyond compelling. Let me play some of the highlights of that interview that took place on CBS.
I had to go over to the mansion to help the governor with a State of the State speech. I wasn't there late. I did my final edit, and while I was upstairs in the office, the governor said, "Why don't we take a selfie?"
So his suggestion, you say?
Yes.
With your phone?
With my phone. I then felt, while taking the selfie, his hand go down my back onto my butt, and he started rubbing it. Not sliding it, not, quickly brushing over it, rubbing my butt.
And did you ask him, what are you doing?
Well, this was while I was taking the selfie. I became so nervous that my hands were clearly shaking, and a lot of the photos that I was snapping were completely blurry. I showed him them, and he said, "Oh, those aren't good." And he said, "Why don't we go sit on the couch, and we can take a better one."
So you sat on the couch?
I sat on the couch because I thought to myself, okay, I don't think on the couch that he would have a way to just do what he just did. So I felt safer, actually, on the couch. And in the photo, I have my arm wrapped around his shoulder, almost as if, we were taking a picture with a buddy. And that is the one that has been blurred out, that has been now released to the public. So he gets up and he goes to give me a hug. And I could tell immediately when he hugged me, it was in probably the most sexually aggressive manner than any of the other hugs that he had given me. It was then that I said, Governor, my words were, "You're going to get us in trouble." And I thought to myself, that probably wasn't the best thing to say, but at that time, I was so afraid that one of the mansion staff, that they were going to come up and see this and think, "Oh, is that what she comes here for?" And that's not what I came there for, and that's not who I am. And I was terrified of that. And when I said that, he walked over, shut the door, so hard to the point where I thought for sure someone downstairs must think if they heard that, what is going on? Came back to me, and that's when he put his hand up my blouse and cupped my breast over my bra. I exactly remember looking down, seeing his hand, which is a large hand, thinking to myself, oh my God, this is happening. It happened so quick. He didn't say anything. When I stopped it, he just pulled away and walked away.
Now the number's up to 13. I guess New York now, not only is he going to be replaced by the first female governor in New York State history, but Cuomo will become the second elected New York State governor in a row to be forced from office over a sex scandal. I guess New York's now 2 for 2. First, obviously, being Elliot Spitzer. He was forced out in 2008 after he was caught patronizing, I guess, high-end prostitutes. In Cuomo's case, he will be replaced by the lieutenant governor. Well, I'm sorry, in Spitzer's case, it was David Patterson, who actually was a very nice person. I got to know him a little bit personally. He decided not to run again after questions emerged about whether he had accepted free tickets to a Yankee game. Cuomo was the New York State Attorney General at the time, known to be interested in running for governor. So there was some question about whether Cuomo, made a deal with Patterson to bow out. But that's just speculation. Patterson was New York's first African-American governor. Anyway, so Andrew Cuomo becomes governor. And, here we are, I guess, now back to square one in New York. A lot of this isn't just it's not going to matter in New York. I don't see New York State changing. Now, I don't know a whole lot, neither does anyone else know a whole lot about the lieutenant governor, to be very frank. She's a Democrat. She's from a pretty conservative district, actually, in Buffalo. And does she have any appetite or desire to take on an assembly and a state senate that, it's sort of new Green Deal socialism, AOC mindset that rules Albany, New York, just like it does in Washington. Article 4, the New York State Constitution, she takes over as governor. She'll be New York's 57th chief executive, the first female governor in the state's nearly 250-year history. She said she agreed with Cuomo's decision to step down. It's the right thing to do. It's in the best interest of New Yorkers, and emphasized that as someone who served at all levels of government and is next in line of succession, I'm prepared to lead. She's 62 years old, from Buffalo, Syracuse University graduate. Okay, I don't think most people really care. Is there going to be anything different? So it's going to be 14 days effective. And look, the problem with New York is just so much bigger. Now, it was interesting. I don't know what to make of Ronan Farrow's article. I printed it out. I haven't had a chance to read it all yet. But apparently Cuomo called the Obama White House to attack a federal prosecutor. I believe it was Preet Bharara at the time, and that would be that's where the Southern District of New York. I mean, that's where Andy McCarthy and guys like Rudy Giuliani came up out of. I actually met him once at that Mediaite party. Remember, Linda? Actually, was a pretty nice guy. Nice to me. Yeah, runs his own podcast apparently. There's nothing. Listen, if you're working in that district, the Southern District of New York, you're a serious lawyer. That's all there is to it. Their reputation is warranted. They're tough. Listen, I want to remind you, every day we're all putting our personal information at risk on the internet. In a second, a cyber criminal can steal what's yours, and that means ruining your good name, your reputation, your finances. You need to protect yourself. LifeLock.com sees the threats you'll miss on your own. They'll scour the dark web for you, something you'll never do and I'll never do. And if your personal information is for sale, you get an alert. If your identity's compromised, they will give you a dedicated restoration specialist to help fix it for you. LifeLock by Norton, they have a very low annual rate. And right now, you'll save an additional 25%. It's simple. Just call 1-800-LifeLock or go to lifelock.com and use the promo code Hannity. You save an additional 25% off their low rate. That's lifelock.com, 1-800-LifeLock. Protect your name, your finances, your reputation, your credit score at lifelock.com. Use the promo code Hannity.